Welcome back, Dynasty Fantasy Football fans, and today we have a listener-submitted roster review. If you're looking to get your trades or roster reviews, I am doing them for free for all of my followers. So go ahead and jump over to my profile, drop me a quick follow, shoot me over the information, and I'd be happy to do one for you. But now, back to this one. So the first place we have to start is talking about the league format. And as you can see above me here, he has a Dynasty. It's a half-point PPR, full-point PPR for tight ends. So slight tight end premium, meaning they're going to matter a little bit more. He's starting 10 players on a weekly basis, one of those being a super flex. So ideally you want two quarterbacks to be able to start every week. And it is a double flex, meaning there is two flex spots in addition to the super flex spot, showing me that skill positions are really going to matter here. So that's how I'm going to value this going forward. So let's dive in and break down his roster really quickly. As you can see above me here, he's got a great start with Jaden Daniels, probably one of the top assets you can have in Dynasty. Baker Mayfield, who's a very solid quarterback too, and Derek Carr's depth. I like this quarterback room to start. Running backs, Bijan Robinson, one of the best you can have in Dynasty. Love it. James Conner, Aaron Jones. Great running back core here. Very productive, although they're a little bit on the older side, minus Bijan. I like this here. Plus, he has the backup and handcuff in Jordan Mason, who's a very strong handcuff to have, and Tyler Algier, another very strong handcuff to have, meaning he's really capturing those two backfields in their entirety. I love that. He also has Jalen Warren, who could have some upside, but personally, I'm looking to sell this offseason if you've been following my profile. So we'll dive more into that later when we dive into trade ideas, but I'm fine moving on from Warren here. This is a great running back room to start. The wide receiver position is clearly where he needs the most help. In my opinion, this is where a lot of the moves are going to be made, as you'll see when I suggest some trade offers. But he has Terry McLaurin, which is a great stack with Jaden Daniels. However, I'm fine selling high on him this offseason if you need to, but I don't mind keeping him here, especially for this roster. Michael Pittman, Cortland Sutton, and Cooper Kupp. All big question marks there. I don't love that core. I'm going to try to pivot off these guys as best I can. Christian Watson, if you can get anyone to take him off your roster at this point, great. Brandon Cooks, Tutu Atwell, Samuel, and Zacchaeus, none of those guys mean anything to me. Finally, in a tight end premium, I love having Sam Laporta. I'm going to try to keep him in this roster as best I can because his upside is insane. Tyler Conklin, signing a new deal, could be productive for the Chargers. I like having him as your backup, an option to flex play. Not a bad setup here. Finally, for draft picks, he is really lacking. He doesn't have a first or a second in the next 2 years, and really only third, fourth, and fifth round picks. This is going to be kind of hard, but I don't really care about these picks personally. He's trying to contend, so let's see how we can package these with some of the smaller level players and see if we can tier up. That's my opinion. Okay, diving into some trade ideas and how I would reconstruct this roster has to be with the wide receivers. That's where all my focus is going to go. If you get some really solid wide receiving core here, I think you definitely can contend in your league. So if you know me, you know I'm buying low on Jalen McMillan, and I think his upside is great. I'm happy moving off from a guy like Christian Watson. So can I take Christian Watson in one of those 26 third round picks and try to flip him for Jalen McMillan? I'm sending that trade offer today. So let's start there. In addition, can I move off of a guy like Michael Pittman and get my way to Chris Godwin, who, although he's a little bit older, I think is going to be wildly productive for the next 3 years on his new contract in the Tampa Bay system. So again, if I can take another one of those third round picks that I had and package it with Michael Pittman to get myself to Chris Godwin, I'd love to send that. Another option for you, while I'm not wildly high on DK Metcalf and still think the uncertainty in the Pittsburgh quarterback room spells some problems here, they just gave him a mega deal, so he's not going anywhere for a long time. Can I flip a guy like Cortland Sutton and Cooper Kupp to get DK Metcalf? Hey, if Metcalf pans out, that was a great trade for me. And if he just has a couple blow-up weeks early on in the season, I can flip him for a lot more value than I would be able to get for these two players. So I'm also fine sending a trade like that. Sticking on the Michael Pittman theme, can I take 2 third-round picks? I know I had to add a 25 in here. I know you only have 26s. But take those 2 26 thirds you have and add it to Michael Pittman. Can I get my way to Devonta Smith, a really solid, underrated wide receiver too that I'm buying in as many leagues as I can? Coming back to the Jalen Warren flipping ideas that I was mentioning before. Can I take Jalen Warren, and I know you don't have a second, this is all I could plug in here. Let's say you add those 2 thirds I was mentioning before, the 2 26 thirds to Jalen Warren to get myself to Jordan Addison and get a young wide receiver that has upside built into that core. I love it. I love a move like this. I would do the same deal for Xavier Worthy. So again, Jalen Warren, 2 third round picks, the equivalent of about a 27 second. I would do that deal. A couple other ideas for you. Could I flip Cooper Kupp with a couple third round picks to get my way to Devontae Adams? I'd rather have Devontae Adams in that Rams offense. And again, for a guy like Jawan Jennings, can I package a group of players together to get to him? Again, a Cooper Kupp, Or a Cortland Sutton. Can I take Cortland Sutton and add two 26 thirds and get Juwan Jennings and maybe a 27 second thrown back my way? I would love to do another deal like that. But that's all I got for you for now. I'm really focusing on the wide receiver rooms. Hopefully some of those trade suggestions help get you started. But again, if you're looking for further in-depth advice or follow-up trade review questions, shoot me a message. I'd be happy to cover them for you. And if you made it this far in the video, drop me a like, give me a follow, and keep coming back for more. Thank you, and have a great day.